In all the years I've been covering theme park news, I never thought I'd be standing here talking about such a huge and crazy coaster, one that's going to be smashing all of the records, the tallest, fastest and longest roller coaster anywhere in the world. It is, of course, Falcon's flight coming to Six Flags Qiddiya in Saudi Arabia. Now, yesterday, all of the details were revealed by the park and also by Intamin, the ride's manufacturer, for this humongous new roller coaster. And all those details were revealed at the huge expo that takes place every year in Orlando, Florida, that is IAAPA. I've been to it a couple of times before. The atmosphere is always amazing. And you know what? From videos that I've seen of this announcement yesterday, it seemed like there was a huge turnout and all the excitement was really building for such a massive announcement like this. It's not very often you get a coaster announced that's smashing all of the records. Sometimes you get the fastest, sometimes you get the tallest or the longest, but the fact we're getting all three into this monster of a coaster is phenomenal. It really is. And just before I get into the details of this and share my thoughts and talk about the ride's layout and the train design, I just wanted to say, let's go back to when this animation was revealed. And a lot of people said, it's ridiculous. It's never going to get built. And even I was thinking, you know, on the edge of, is this going to get built or not? But you know what? Gradually we started to see land clearance and then we started to see construction. Yes, this ride is already under construction and it has been for quite some time now. And yeah, here we are with the big announcement and the train reveal. This ride is being built, it is happening, and we've actually got a proper ride animation now. Of course, what was announced was very unrealistic, but it was never supposed to be a realistic plan. That was just kind of putting out there what they wanted to do, a bit of a concept, a bit of a blue sky idea for how this was going to turn out. It wasn't the technical kind of layout for this ride that we've now got from Intamin. But yeah, this is it, Falcon's flight. Firstly, let me just talk a bit about the park. So yes, this is a brand new theme park being built currently in Saudi Arabia, not too far away from the capital. And yeah, it's going to be called Six Flags Qiddiya. Now, of course, this is going to be the huge standout ride there, the record breaker, Falcon's flight. But there's also going to be lots of other rides there, lots of other roller coasters, and the theming for this park looks fantastic. It's going to be split into different themed areas, very different to what Six Flags normally do with their parks in the USA. So yes, that is very exciting. Now, in terms of when this park is going to open, originally they were looking at a 2023 opening. It now, of course, seems like it's going to be late 2024 based on the timing for this announcement, construction, how it's progressing. We know a few people that are actually working on this project, and yeah, it does seem likely this is going to open next winter, late 2024 for this one. However, that is still yet to be officially confirmed, but I do know yesterday that was the provisional dates what Intamin are working towards for this monster of a ride. So yeah, we're looking at a possible late 2024 opening, but hopefully we'll find out more details on that into next year, because you've got to think there's still a lot of work to do, there's a lot of testing to do, and I can't see them opening the park without this ride. You know, they're going to want to make sure the big standout ride is ready for the opening, I'm sure. Now, of course, the ride is manufactured by Intamin, Swiss manufacturer, my favourite out there. They've built some amazing rides all across the world, they really have. And yeah, including some of the former record holders, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment with the stats. But yeah, this is a ridiculous announcement. I can't believe I'm even talking about this. But yeah, the fact that we're seeing a coaster with these stats being built is very, very impressive. And if anyone was going to do it, it had to be Intamin. They've done some crazy things in the past, and they're doing it again with Falcon's flight. So yeah, let's get into it. The coaster itself is actually going to be the first coaster. So that means a coaster over 600 foot tall. We've never reached these heights before. We've never even reached 500 foot, but yeah, they're going straight in over 600. And so yeah, it's the first Exa coaster being built here. It's going to actually be 640 foot tall. Crazy, like what a number, 640 foot tall, which is already 180 foot taller than the current record holder, which is King Dakar at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey in the USA. Now, of course, King Dakar, big ride, you know, you look at it and it's a monster, then you realize this is going to be almost 200 foot taller, then you think this is crazy. Now, along with that, it's also going to feature the biggest drop of any roller coaster in the world too, and that's going to be straight off the side of this cliff, as I'll get into when we talk about the layout. layouts. In terms of the track length, this is the one that astounds me as well. 13,123 feet of track, nearly 1.5 times longer than Steel Dragon 2000, which is the current record holder, which is ridiculous. I mean, that is very impressive, the length for this ride. Of course, it needs to be with the speeds that this is going to be reaching, and also the layout that we're looking at here with this big cliff face, which just looks insane. It really does. In terms of the top speed, it's going to be 156 miles an hour. That's 7 miles per hour faster than the current fastest coaster, which is Formula Rossa. And of course, Qiddiya and also Rossa were both built by Intamin. Steel Dragon 2000 wasn't, but still, two of the records were held by the company anyway. So they're smashing those out the water, especially the height one. I mean, that's crazy. At first, when we saw this design, it was looking likely to be about 540. The fact that it's an extra 100 foot on top of that is insane. It really is. Like, this element is going to be crazy. I've used that word a lot already, but that is the word to describe this ride. I never thought I'd be talking about something this insane. Now, in terms of the train design and the station, it's going to actually feature dual loading station for capacity, and that means it'll be running 6 trains, 14 riders per train. Now, as we can see from these trains, they've actually got an optimized windscreen on the front, a windshield, which means you won't need to wear safety goggles. Now, that's the thing with a ride that's literally built in the desert to protect your eyes from the sand and the other elements. Normally you'd have to wear goggles on there. However, with this, you're not going to need them because it's having this kind of shield in front, this windscreen. I think it looks quite sleek. I like the look of the trains. They look very beefy. It looks like a monster itself. And yeah, the design of those are fantastic. It's also got lap bars, so you're going to be enjoying all these elements with a nice Intamin lap bar as well. It's got 16-inch running wheels on there, so pretty big wheels that we can see. 35 light modules on there. So yeah, they're all individually programmable. So it'll be able to do fancy light patterns as it's going round. I'm sure it'll be opening at night. Imagine this is a night ride, and yeah, that's fully customizable. So yeah, that's the train design. I do think the trains look fantastic. Of course, based on a Falcon, kind of goes into Saudi's history with falconry there, and that's the kind of story of the ride. Yeah, these kind of falcons swooping round and going up onto the cliff, and that all kind of comes into the layouts that we can see for this ride. Now, let's talk about the layout. So you're going to leave that dual station and straight away make your way up the first launch of 3 that there's going to be on the ride. Now, this is just kind of get you in the mood for the ride that you're going to be enjoying. This kind of looks a little bit like a bigger version of Maverick's lift hill at Cedar Point, kind of an LSM lift hill. It's going to take you up before dropping down to various different turns, drops, some little airtime moments by the looks of it as well. And yeah, just overall a nice kind of start to the ride, mainly to get you from the station, the loading area, down to the bottom of this cliff face that they've got at Six Flags Qiddiya. And yeah, that part, you're actually going to make your way into the second launch, which is going to be a 100-mile-an-hour launch up to the top of a cliff. So literally, you're going to be going at 100 mile an hour on this sort of gradient up this cliff, which, how's that going to feel? There's no other ride experience quite like that. Can you tell how excited I am for this? You know, you're just going to go up there. How's that going to feel? How's it going to feel on the body? You're going to be, you know, looking down at this park and nothing around, just sand. Like, it's going to be insane. And then when you get up to the top, it kind of curves round, and then you're very low down, probably a few foot off the ground here on the top of this cliff. So the supports aren't massive at this stage. You're literally on top of this cliff, a few feet off the ground, where you're going to turn around a bit like a Falcon would, swooping round before then dropping down off the side of this cliff, which is going to be probably the most insane element of this ride. So yeah, we're going to be reaching speeds of 156 miles an hour, vertical drop first off the cliff, which will then go through a tunnel before then dropping down further to 156 miles an hour. It's going to keep that speed using LSMs, which are going to power it, the third launch, if you like, up to the top of this crazy tall element of 640 feet. And yeah, that's a massive top hat that we're going to see here. And the animation doesn't do this justice. That is going to be a massive structure. You're going to look at that like you look at a New York skyscraper. You know, it's going to be this massive structure. And I do love the design of it. I like the fact we're not just seeing a launch up to the top and back down like Top Thrill Dragster originally was, or Qiddiya. We're seeing something a lot more imaginative with the design with this as well. The park said they wanted to smash all the records, and they're certainly doing that, but also with a very interesting layout. Can you imagine dropping off that cliff through a tunnel, then dropping further, then being launched, and then going up into this element? It's going to be an absolutely amazing coaster. It really is. Like, just the feel that you're going to get on this is going to be crazy. Just thinking about it in my head now, just how's it all going to come together? Like, I cannot wait to see this, that Intamin do. But yeah, you're going to go up into the top hat. Looks like you're just going to get a really nice bit of floater airtime over there. If you're at the back, you're probably just going to float over at a nice speed. The animation doesn't do the speed justice either, in my opinion. You know, because you got to imagine this on a bigger scale, not just watching it through a screen. Like, that is going to be insane to watch as it goes over the top. And then after that, you're going to drop down, various of the drops, moments of airtime, twists, turns. There's actually a section that goes right by the racetrack that they're building there. Yes, there's going to be an actual racetrack as part of this whole area in Qiddiya. And then actually over the entrance to the park before hitting the brake run. So this coaster looks insane. It doesn't feature any inversions, for those of you that are wondering. No inversions, but it doesn't need it. Like, with this, it's smashing all them records, other than, of course, the most inversions that still belongs to the Smiler here in the UK, literally a few miles up the road here from the museum. But yeah, like, I do love the look of this coaster. I can't believe that it's been built. I remember the announcement thinking, surely, is this actually going to happen, or is this just a blue sky idea? It looks like something built in Planet Coaster or Roller Coaster Tycoon. But no, it is real. It's being built right now. And yes, we'll be going out to ride it when it opens. I'm following this as close as we can do now. It's hard to get construction updates, but there has been some pictures that have been released of the construction, which you can see here. However, yeah, I cannot wait to go and ride this coaster. I want to be there opening day. I want to get on it. I do feel like it could have a lot of downtime, possibly. This ride, you know, is it beating so many records, and especially the weather conditions out there and where it's been built in a desert. However, yes, I think it's going to be a very popular ride. It's going to get people there. I'm certainly very excited for it. I've been speaking with a lot of people over the past 24 hours who are really excited for this ride and all want to go and experience it. And yeah, with it being built quite close to the capital as well, I think this is going to be an amazing ride. One of, if not the best roller coaster in the world. This could be the one, smashing all them records. But yeah, it's going to be insane. For me, it's the fact that, you know, you're going to be coming off the cliff. That's what makes it so unique. Dropping off the cliff. How is that going to feel? And then through the tunnel, then dropping more, then up into that massive top hat. Honestly, I am so excited for this one. Let me know your thoughts down below in the video comments. I would love to know, as always. And yeah, with this one, we're going to be following it closely here on Theme Park Worldwide. The more updates we get, we'll share them with you all on our social media and, of course, here on YouTube as well. But thanks for joining me. And that leaves me with one final thing to say. Get out there and keep on riding. We'll see you in the next video.